We're here to talk about Scott Pilgrim. Justin, roll off with our usual weekly thing if you did your job.
I always do my job. Even the week that it was misconstrued that I did not, I did. We just didn't go through it.
Wait. Let me lead in for
my job.
Let me lead in for Justin a little bit here.
The man, the myth,
the legend.
Justin will describe the film
Thank
to
you.
us. Go.
Oh, thank you, Kahuna. So, Scott Pilgrim, the movie, it's based off of a series of, I don't know what you call these. They're manga-esque, right?
They're comics.
Like
Comics? Graphic
They
novels.
look like mangas.
Graphic novels, yeah.
Yeah, anyways, Scott Pilgrim plays in a band which aspires to success. He dates Knives Chow, a high school girl 5 years younger than he is, and he hasn't recovered from being dumped by his former girlfriend, who is now a success with her own band. When Scott falls for Ramona Flowers, he has trouble breaking up with Knives and tries to romance Ramona. As if juggling 2 women wasn't enough, well, Ramona comes with some baggage, 7 ex-lovers, with each of whom Scott must do battle to the death in order to win Ramona's heart. The movie's budget was $60 million, and sadly, it boggles my mind, it only made $52 million, so certified bomb. We got music on here from Beck, did all the music for the band Sex Bob-Omb, and Metric, of course, with Envy Adams, The Clash of the Demon Head. That song was directed by Edgar Wright, probably best well-known for his Shaun of the Dead movie. Also starring, the cast in this thing is nuts. You got Michael Cera, who was very popular at the time, even as grating as he can be. You got Anna Kendrick in her best role ever. Kieran Culkin. I didn't know there was more Culkins. There's another one.
There are many Culkins, yeah.
Allison Pill, Aubrey Plaza, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Jason
Brandon
Schwartzman,
Ruth.
a.k.a. NDA Andrew. We also got Mark Webber, Ellen Wong, and then Chris Evans and Brandon Routh.
The
this
other
movie-
Culkin was in the
7.8
Signs movie, wasn't he?
Yeah. Who's that?
The other Culkin brother, he was in the Signs, right?
Yeah, he was the older son in Signs. Yeah.
Now that you mention it, yeah.
Mel
that's
Gibson
definitely...
is a Culkin? It's their brother.
How many of them are there? 3? Is there 3? Who knows? Anyway,
But
I
I think the
never
best
said
way
that.
to describe this movie, it's fun, right?
Yes.
It's fun. I don't think you can't say it's not fun, even if you don't like it.
this is America. I can say whatever I want.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a box office failure, and I kind of struggle to see how.
Wait,
I don't know if that
it was.
It was absolutely was a horrible failure, which just doesn't make sense. Hey, just turn your camera off if you're gonna light up. Yeah, it doesn't make sense because it's got a great cast.
It has a huge following of people to this day. I had never seen one lick of it up until I saw it this time.
Yeah, it's possible that it's so Michael Cera was kind of on a roll with movies at that point, but I did hear it was people were kind of sick of him. But I don't feel like that's enough to justify it failing as bad as it did. The director, Edgar Wright, just got done filming Hot Fuzz, so I believe that released before this. But either way, he had Shaun of the Dead. The guy was on a roll, and it's how did this movie fail? It doesn't make sense.
Was it the marketing? I'm trying to remember what the
only
marketing
thing I
was.
could come up with.
That's what the internet is saying, is that's a marketing issue. Because I even forgot, too, Brie Larson was in this. There was a couple other people. Thomas Jane. There's
The
so many
only
people.
good role she ever did, and it's almost infuriating watching it because she's really likable in this, and it's actually her singing, and her song kind of slaps. And so it's just
It's
I don't want to like Brie Larson, but
Kinda
it's
slaps.
good.
Why'd they make her blonde? She's not blonde. Why did they make her blonde?
Right. I agree. I agree, Abdullah. It's a conspiracy.
It is.
Nah, it makes her look
Frankly,
bitchier.
they hate redheads. We all know it.
Yeah, with the
They do.
platinum
This is
blonde
the
hair.
start of it.
Are you trying to show us something?
Yeah, it was
No.
just a black screen.
I'm doing nothing.
Oh, okay.
Hey, guys, check this out.
The ginger
please.
side
I'm calming
continues.
down before work. That's what I'm doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please do. Please do.
Yeah. But
I'll be right back. Give me a second.
Okay, yeah,
Oh,
go
okay.
for it.
Dude, it had Captain America in it. Who didn't this movie have, you know?
It had
This is a
Superman.
grand role,
It had Superman and Captain America in the same film.
Yeah.
And the other thing is it has so many video game references, and a lot of movies don't do that. They're either just like about video games, or the only other time I see them is like if it's MMO references or something. And the fact that that was a tie-in too, video games are popular, so it's a comic. There was already an established audience. Wildly successful comic.
The Expendables came out the same weekend. That might be a part of that too.
Oh yeah. Well, just
that was a
the
big
9-bit
movie when it came out.
Sorry, the 8-bit opening with the studio logo. Like it's like they don't miss a detail in this. It was visually insane.
Sure.
It's definitely the
so
most comic book movie. Like we just recently watched 300, and yeah, that had some like comic-esque stuff, but like this literally was like screaming comic with the onomatopoeias and everything, and like they're just using all these details and everything to work in there to make it be like a comic book.
It's framed like a comic. It's framed like a fighting game. It's pretty. They really went all out, which is the only way to do this kind of film.
And if you compare panels from the book, they recreated a lot of it, like panel for panel, line of dialogue to line of dialogue, scene for scene. I think it's something like when I look.
So the comic also has problems.
20 minutes.
Well, here's
almost a 1-to-1.
Well, here's the thing: the comic was still being written as it was produced. It finished and released right before the movie released, and the writer of it was right there helping them create the movie.
Yep.
And he actually stole panels, like not steal, but like he used panels from the movie into the comic. Like "You're dead" at the end. He's like, "Oh, yep, that's how I'm doing it."
Yep.
Which is like interesting. The movie was influenced from the comic, then influenced from the movie. Like it's
and it actually
the show, the comic, they were swapping juices. Things got mixed up. We don't really know what happened.
I think the end result too is not only did you get a better movie, but the books were better too, because I think Brian Lee O'Malley was through book 4 or something at that point in time, and he was able to see the movie, process it, and think about it, and then he was like, I would maybe change this or make this a little bit different. And the book.
Oh, so is that why we got the bad ending in the movie?
They're like 1-to-1, and there's things he wanted to improve. Not that they needed it, but
well, we should definitely talk. Like the ending is going to be a whole topic on its own towards the end. But
which one?
Right, there's two endings, and yeah, I mean we'll talk about that later. But so a little fun fact: did you know that the studio really wanted Seth Rogen to be the choice for the main character?
Oh, God,
I'm so glad that didn't happen.
Dude, it would have been so bad.
I can't stand that guy.
I really think Michael Cera was a good casting for it. I know a lot of people had problems with him, but I think
it was either him or Jesse Eisenberg, right? Because they're basically the same freaking person.
That would have been.
That's a really good point.
Think about the dweeby characters they play, the way they look, the way they act. They're the same.
What
person.
happened to McLovin though? I would have liked to see him in something else.
He might have made He would have made the character too likable. That's the problem.
Oh, fair enough. I've never seen the movie yet, so I'm excited. Bummed out I won't be able to stay for the whole thing though.
No, you're good, man. You're good. You just make up opinions. That's what half of the people on here are doing.
I, for one, won't stand for it.
I won't stand for lies. And then, like,
right.
a couple shows back, Bats House was like, "Oh yeah, I actually like this film. I wanted fights."
I declare there's no taxes on Scott Pilgrim versus Nevada. What was it? Which legal case is this? Scott Pilgrim versus the people of.
But yeah, no. So the movie starts off very weird. It's kind of a weird thing that he's dating a 17-year-old. Mm-hmm. But that's supposed to be portrayed as like a crisis in his life because of the breakup that he had with the Envy, Brie Larson, that character.
Weird flex still. Just saying. I don't know. There's other... I don't know, man. He could have been a hoarder. He could have been other stuff. Like addicted to video games. Addicted to video games. I don't know. Something. That would explain
it does make it is a harder thing to watch. Dude, just turn your camera off.
No, don't turn your camera off.
No, this is way better. Chill Kid, this is way better.
Yes.
Last night was really stressful at work, so I'm just trying to get myself ready so I don't punch out my coworker tonight.
No, you're good, man. Are we ever going to see bald on top Chill Kid? Is that something we're ever going to see?
If I ever start to go bald, abso-freaking-lutely.
Okay, so like just full beard, shave the top, look like a wrestler kind of thing.
Yeah. I might even go. At one point I did the old Hulk Hogan mustache.
Yes.
Just to freak out my friend, and I kept it for one concert, and that was it.
Back to you, brother.
Yeah. So, any scenes that
Sorry
particularly
about those.
stood? No, it's all good. I'm adamant about staying on topic and stuff. But yeah, no. So, who's your favorite ex-boyfriend? You know, there's a lot of things.
Chris Evans was so funny, dude.
Chris Evans, yeah,
He was so funny. Like he's the first one.
And after that, my gun or whatever it is. Oh, man. So many
Brandon
good
Ruth
lines.
was
That whole
also
battle.
really like the vegan was very funny as.
his stuntman. Oh, another fun fact.
Punch the highlights out of her hair.
Did you know?
Not afraid.
Yeah,
to hit a woman.
the vegan was
I'm a
definitely my favorite one. It just makes it better than everyone.
That's not, or that's half and half. Oh,
Yeah,
vegan, please.
chicken's not vegan.
Yeah. Don't partake of anything with the face.
That whole bit was amazing.
Kratos.
But Jackie
I could
Chan's
pull the Kratos.
stunt team was involved with this entire movie.
I mean, I think it makes sense. I thought the action, the combat in it is pretty good. All
The
throughout. Lucas
fights were
Lee's
good.
shots
It wasn't
against the
just
wall.
funny. The fights were actually
man.
good. That was
Yeah, they were intense. This movie had great impact and just like the cuts, everything was so fast. This is like super ADD friendly because it's almost a 2-hour runtime, and I'm like, I wouldn't have cut anything. It was all like,
It was bizarre the first fight, like when the Indian dude like started fighting, and then
so good.
and then the character was like he was able to fight right away. I'm like, oh, I didn't anticipate him being able to like be a Matrix fighter right away. This is interesting.
Right.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He does the song and what's he say? Hey,
The
he's
build
just
up,
like, why is that
the
guy dressed
edging.
like a pirate?
Yeah, why is
Did
he
you
dressed
get my email?
Yeah,
Skimmed
I love.
it.
She's like, oh no, they got a girl drummer. Every drummer in the movie
Yeah.
is a girl.
Every single one.
We're
the
playing
music
against
jokes-
Crash and those boys. Is that
music
girl a
jokes are
boy
on
too?
point. Music jokes are on point. I can
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys catch all the video game references? Because the kind of thing, some were sort of deep cuts. Even
many
like
of
the characters
them.
turning into coins. Do you know what that's from?
That's a lot. Like
A lot of older.
a lot of
games.
older games turn to coins. Yeah.
Name 3.
Like not like.
See, I think a lot
Wait,
of-
wait,
That
wait.
was so base.
The correct answer is
Just
River
like-
City Ransom. It's from River
Name
City.
That was
three.
the best
Yeah.
call out
And
ever.
so that was the one that
Name
started
3.
it.
I feel like I've seen that in many
It's a
games
mechanic.
though. I just don't know.
Some games have taken it, but it started with River City Ransom. The
Yeah.
band called
'Cause
The
I was
Clash of
thinking about
Beaverhead. Do you
Mario
know what that's
games.
from?
Yeah, I was
old
thinking
Nintendo
Mario
game.
games too, but I don't know if they
Yeah.
turn to coins
There
necessarily.
was
Exactly,
a
they
couple
don't-
Mario games that do that, and then
Some
but
of
there
them,
was like
yeah.
rings in the
Yeah.
In Sonic, yeah.
Sonic.
And then,
well, no, I guess
obviously,
you just
Street
get
Fighter.
out
That
of you.
I mean,
What's
not-
up, little man?
Hey, oh, straight
Yo.
from Street Fighter. And then, whenever Scott is all happy, he's like, "Hey guys, check it out! I learned the bass line from Final Fantasy 2. That is, he plays that real bass line from Final Fantasy 2, like note for note. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I love that. stuff.
Apparently, Michael Cera actually knows how to play.
Apparently,
and he,
yeah.
He's in
he
a
had to like
he's decent.
play down because he was too good for the character.
Sorry,
He gives off major bassist energy. I'm just gonna throw
Yeah.
that out.
Well, yeah, mid 2000s bassist energy. Yeah. Nowadays they all look like Danzig.
Yeah. It's like the bassist, but all of the bassists got together. Like, we have to do something to stand out again. It's been too long. Like, what if we all dress like extras in a satanic film? Yes,
go,
let's
yeah.
do it.
Yeah,
I love the bass battle that they have too, and that was one of my favorite exchanges in the movie. Was during the bass battle right before it. He's like, "We have unfinished business, I and he and me. Don't you talk to me about grammar. I dislike you, capiche? Tell it to the cleaning lady on Monday." It's just like that back and forth, man.
or
Monday,
with the
because
Indi- or
tonight's
with the
Friday
Indian guy.
night, and she has off on weekends. So this is,
It makes sense, right? I dislike
Also,
you, capiche?
Ramona
Oh, man,
Flowers,
so
was
good.
she worth it? Not worth it? How's our vibe with that?
so
Like, main motivation for the main character.
let's get into some of the negatives through the story because Ramona Flower the chemistry between Ramona Flowers and Scott Pilgrim was non-existent. And I think
that was kind of the point.
No, I think that was a big problem. I feel like it would have been a lot better if they gave her a personality. Well, yeah, she needed a personality, but not only that, like they needed to show chemistry between the characters. Like, especially for the way that the story and the theme goes throughout it. It just doesn't make sense if she doesn't, and the lesson he learned doesn't make sense.
I think that's Scott's character, though. He doesn't have chemistry with anybody, or even himself. I think that's kind of the whole thing.
Right, and that would have been good if that was what he learned at the end, that he sucks, which was the message of the story in the actual graphic novels. But that's not what we got in the movie. He earned the power of self-respect.
I will say, have you ever pursued a girl that's just no interest in you at all?
Yeah.
So
as a guy,
how long you got?
And,
I got a lot of
she's
songs.
so messed up that she's just like going along with him. Even when they first meet, she's like making out with him, and she's about to like hook up with him, and she's like, I don't know, like she's just a mess. So the fact that there wasn't chemistry there, but they were still like infatuated, I don't know. I thought it worked out just fine.
The defense begins.
It can, I agree, it can work with a different ending. And don't get me wrong, I love see, what made me pay attention to this more is literally it was NDA Andrew's comment under your thing about being like Michael Cera doesn't like learn his lesson. Or Scott Pilgrim doesn't learn his lesson, and he's just annoying. And I'm like, yeah, he kind of doesn't learn his lesson at the end. Even though I do love like the whole you get the power of love, and then he dies, he gets the one up, and then it's like, no, you get the power of self-respect. I'm like, I felt like it worked, but when you really think about it, I don't think it does.
He didn't really act like someone who had self-respect at the end. He doesn't seem like he's changed at all.
Well, and that's not the thing that he did wrong throughout it, right? Because he messed, he fucked up with knives. Like, he cheated on her. And that was something in the book that, him telling her that he cheated on her, that happened a lot earlier in it. And apparently her and, basically the ending fight scene is a resolving of a lot of stories that happened much earlier in the graphic novel.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
So
is it worth reading the graphic novel?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But it looks like it.
Justin, I know what you're gonna say. I don't.
Dude, it's so good. They're so fun, man. They're just fun books.
It looks really good.
It's such they're so much fun.
I've gotten these notes from watching, YouTube videos.
You lazy son. All of my thoughts are original.
I was doing research. Excuse me. How is that lazy?
I'm doing research. I don't have opinions. I'm a sheep. I need to look things up.
I don't have time to buy all the comics and read them for this week. I don't see you doing that, huh? But
I actually do buy comics and read them. I don't look stuff up before stuff like that. My opinions are my own.
Yeah, and I do get that. I don't think it was wrapped up really well. Where Daniel P. Riley says the point was the two of them are socially stupid. Scott's naive twerp, and Ramona is a sociopath. Yes, but they didn't really explore that well. And I do get that's them going off at the end. The original ending, let's talk about that right now, was he ends up with knives, which would have been weird.
I would have... am I the only one who thinks that would have been better? I thought the whole journey they go through is to show that, oh yeah, me and Ramona, I wanted this for the wrong reason. She's kind of useless, and then I'm also kind of... I don't know. It seems like that would have worked
because he literally just told her that he cheated on her, and then it would feel weird that he just gets with her right then.
I suppose it's because I wanted Knives to get a win.
Yes, I want Knives to get a win too. I just don't think the win for her is Scott. I feel like almost the best thing would be for him to end up with nobody for the way that the story's told,
They should have just played Green Day at the end. I walk alone, just have him walk off on his own, just sad cry, and movie's over.
Oh man, Green Day might have ruined the movie for me if they were in it.
Oh, dude.
Especially that song. I've never connected with that song. It's like, cry me a river, Billy.
I'm younger than you and Justin, though. That's it. I came out my second album was Green Day, so we'll
It was actually one of my first Dookie
Warning
was,
is one of the best albums.
I made the mistake of enjoying their music for a while.
Well, we opened the movie with.
Well, I mean, if you've ever listened to the album Warning, that album is excellent. It's a great album. I mean,
some of their albums are really good.
What do you think about Dookie?
Yeah.
All right.
What do you think about Dookie?
Good, especially for a first
No
round,
bats.
for sure.
We're on a tangent.
A lot of good
I
tracks.
love playing.
Sorry,
I love playing
bad,
with
Bats.
Dookie, man. I love playing with Dookie.
Can
Yeah,
you phrase that? Can you say that slowly? Okay.
I think we need to put you in timeout. That's gonna be a no for me.
So
dog.
the movie opens with Knives.
Guys, we're talking about Green Day.
He's a relationship with Knives, and like the first thing that like he kind of does is talk about how cool she is with his friends. It's kind of like bragging, right? It's more about how she makes him look good, like which is messed up.
And then he
It's kind of the
basically
vibe I got.
ignores her. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's like bragging to
I
his
haven't
friends.
seen
He's
it,
like,
but
yeah,
I'm
she's really
starting-
cool, right? She's really cool, and they're like, yeah. But then when the second something better comes along, Ramona, he's like, let me hop on that train. Not really, not literally, but you know.
Oh,
Let
so
me
you're
stalk
saying-
this girl
you're
until
saying
she
he
can't
left-
ignore me.
He left her for the second girl, and that's the case you're making. Is he was supposed to have chemistry with Ramona?
Yeah, the girl that he left the
Yeah,
Asian,
but he's
the
gonna-
cute Asian girl for.
Yeah, if he's gonna end up with her, that's why I'm like, it's neither of the answers are good because he had zero chemistry with Ramona, so it doesn't make sense for him to end up with her. It's weird, and then he totally screwed over Knives without like properly patching that. Not like, you know what I mean? It would have taken time to patch that, and not to mention she's 17.
Not to mention it.
Yeah. So like neither answers work. You know.
Guys, I figured it out. This movie is relevant to a conversation we've had before. This movie stands atop the mountain, the Mount Rushmore of style over substance. The substance is really bad, but the style is peak. That's what this movie represents.
Peak style.
So you know, Bill, maybe I'll have to explain better when if I put the link out, you want to come on. But is his issue was it self-respect? Was that the resolution for him to learn self-respect? I don't know if
It's clearly what his character was missing. He didn't respect anything. He didn't respect himself or anyone else.
I just feel like his issue was him being a douchebag.
Yeah, that's what happens when you don't have any self-respect.
But it's not self-respect. It's self-respect. It's like he had no respect for others.
Because he didn't respect himself.
Which is, yeah.
They're
but
connected.
I don't think they did a good enough job of tying that together. And again, that's like another issue with it being, the timeline that they have, where it's like we didn't get to explore the issues that he had with Envy and how that whole situation went. You know, we didn't get to explore many.
I feel like a lot got cut out. It felt like there was more story there than I got to see.
So and from what I've heard, the comic does show chemistry between him and Ramona, and there's the whole issue of it's just like couples keep on, putting their trauma onto other people and then creating trauma, so on and so forth. And I just don't know if that was demonstrated well enough in the time frame that the movie has.
I'm going to say something controversial here.
Sure.
I think the substance is not really there for me in this story. I think it fails a lot in a lot of story related reasons. But I think going for style over substance was the right move for this movie. If you had to only have one or the other, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, like these issues I'm pointing out, I really have to focus on it. Like the lights and the comedy and the enjoyment is all very
Him
distracting
jumping out the
from any of
window when
flaws.
Knives is looking for him is one of the funniest gags I've seen.
Dude, yes, it kills me every time.
Reaches back in for the jacket.
Yeah.
Oh, he just left.
The way that the voiceovers talk contradicting what he's saying,
Oh, like how the inner monologue versus the outer words don't match. Yeah, that's always funny. Yeah.
Yeah, just,
One thing
the movie's
about
just so well
this-
done. Sorry, Emily, what were you saying?
Yeah, no, you're fine. It's in terms of storytelling or whatever. He lives in that little apartment, which those apartments are kind of strange looking. So he lives there with his roommate, who owns everything. And yet, what kind of
much, yeah.
bass does Scott play and I assume it's his, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's Steven Stills. He has a Rickenbacker. Those things are like on the low end 3,000, and you can get up in the 6,000s. I'm not sure that specific model. I'm like, this kid has nothing, but he's playing a Rickenbacker.
Maybe that's why he has nothing. He's like, I'm not gonna be able to pay rent for like 3 weeks or like four
on the guitar.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy's really, really bad with his money. Why would he buy just like a piece of equipment like that?
He seems too lazy and self-absorbed to have a job for very long, actually. So who knows?
Well, yeah, I guess
in all
that's
likelihood, Rickenbacker paid for that.
I think Knives actually paid for it. That's my
in
opinion.
the comics though.
Rickenbacker
Well, he lived right
was
across the
as
street
far
from
as
his family.
advertising goes, you know?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
that's what he plays in the books.
Oh, in the
okay.
books too. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
my
probably
bad.
just the author taking some liberty right there. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, I guess the beginning of the movie does really set up well how much of a loser he is. It's just him treating
that's
Knives so shitty. I think just
Knives is the best character.
kills it. Yeah,
He was nice to Knives till he wasn't.
I feel like again,
really?
if they added some chemistry between
Yeah,
him
they
and
played
Ramona.
that game together and everything, and they
They
were
played
like,
the game.
hit it off,
He
and
made her pay for it. The high
made her pay
schooler.
for it and ignored her the
she's
whole
the one.
time.
Yeah, that's true. He's broke.
Justin, I love you. I'm happy you love this movie, and I really like it as well. You're not gonna bring me over to thinking this movie is good for bad reasons.
Whoa.
Bad reason.
Emily's
He does
not
treat her
laughing.
decently until he doesn't. It's a fact.
He did not treat. Okay.
He meets her at the bus stop. He does these different things with her. They go to the arcade. They go to the thrift shop. He's teaching her about good music.
Chill, kid.
It's not like it's
he
just her.
is 22. She is 17 in high school. He makes her pay for. There you go.
But he only cares, like he's only being nice to her because she gives him
It's Canada.
something, and
You know,
that's
they're
why.
more progressive up there with like men and women paying for things. That's all that is. It's Canada.
No, but he keeps on bragging about what her presence does to his status, and I think part of that goes to like he was dating like the most famous chick ever right before, and so now he's like worried about his status. I don't know, but he goes by.
Hey,
Those
okay, I got to be honest with you. All these things you're telling me, it's about to be Scott Pilgrim versus me too, because this guy sounds awful.
Yeah,
It's Scott Pilgrim versus
Well, that's
the
your
world.
problem,
It's
yeah.
the name.
Which is ironic because Emily is like, I can't stand Rocky. The guy hangs his hat on a knife that he put in the wall. Who does that?
I have to make a
who does
video
that? And his
of him talking
place
about
is
Scott
filthy.
Pilgrim and then Rocky.
he lives with a gay dude.
At least he lives in his
same
own
bed
room.
with him.
Yeah, he's supposed to.
Not
be a
that there's
loser,
anything
and
wrong with that.
He's
Not that
supposed
there's
to be
anything
kind of a
wrong with
loser, and
that.
they do a good job establishing that, and people don't like those qualities about him, and that's why you dislike him. Maybe if they had an old man say,
Okay.
you know that Pilgrim kid, he's got a lot of heart. Maybe that would do it.
What do you mean? They did do that. Ramona's like, I'm gonna
No, I was poking.
blow
fun.
you on the second date just because I don't know. NDA Andrew broke up with me, and now I have no self-esteem. I think Ramona needed to earn the power of self-respect. That's really what needed to happen.
I can't.
I think
everybody
everybody everybody in this film had to earn self-respect, and nobody had it.
Yeah.
It's almost
Yeah,
like kind of Seinfeldish though, where like all the characters are all jerks, and that kind of makes it work. Or Always Sunny.
That makes
It
sense.
can be it's entertaining, but
Absolutely.
I don't think the story delivers the story it's trying to do.
I saw somebody make a comment that the nega, you know how he goes up against Nega Scott at the end, and they're like, well, the thing is Nega Scott's the opposite of Scott, so he's actually a
Right.
really nice guy.
Yes. So Scott is admitting that
My
he's
nigga.
an a-hole. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep
But-
making that joke until I get canceled. By the way,
I believe in the comic he goes up against the Nega Scott and actually fights him, and I think
Yeah.
he loses.
yeah, he
I
should.
can't remember. The comic definitely dives deeper in, and everything is more fleshed out. I haven't read it in a long time, so I might need to go back. But it's very different than the movies, from what I remember, or pretty different once you get to like book 3 or 4. Whenever the movie and the books were done, it changes, and I think you'll get more of the things story-wise that you wanted from the movie but didn't get.
That's a shame. It's not in the film that we're judging right now.
At this
It
point,
doesn't
I
matter
am
'cause it's
putting.
still awesome. The story is like it doesn't. It's just a reason to like do stuff. It's just so much fun. I don't even care.
Well, I will
I
say
can agree with
there
that.
is a story, there's themes, and there's effort put into this. Whereas in like a lot of comedies, they're just like, let's write the jokes, the story's secondary. This feels like they put effort into that stuff, and I think it really shows. Whether, even though I can disagree that the landing may have been rocky at the end, it's still the effort rocky. And the care is there, and that makes a huge difference. That's what you should be like when you're writing any genre of whatever story. You shouldn't lack on any other aspect of the story if you have different aspects. Like if you have an action, if you have like don't lack when you tell some jokes in there because you're like, oh, it's just an action. Who cares if the jokes suck? No, put effort into the jokes. But guys, the stream link is in there. If you want to come in here and disagree with us or whatever you want to do, you can click on that and I will let you in.
Real quick. What was best and worst of the ex-boyfriend fights? Best and worst of the ex-boyfriend fights. Or X fights, really technically.
Yeah, the one with Gideon was probably my least favorite.
I think so too.
I liked his sword. I don't know. I thought his sword was
his sword was definitely cool.
The sword is cool, but the fight itself, like he went through it twice, which is funny because it's another game reference. But yeah,
the first time he fights Evil X number 4, what's her name? Roxy Richter, was that it? That whole sequence, she pops up out of nowhere and he punches her. You punched me right in the boob.
That was a good one.
Whenever he's supposed to fire, he's like, I can't hit girls, they're soft.
And then she takes his hands and starts using him as a puppet.
Well, so this is something that I like. I like when you don't have just swords, because I feel like swords are used in fight scenes as the generic, we're going to use it for everything. So it's like I like it when we get a mix up of weapons. And with the girls, we got a oversized heavy hammer and a whip. And I'm like, cool. I like that change up.
Bat Sauce looks over. You had me at whip. Yeah.
But yeah, I think I that was one of the better ones. The vegan one wasn't really much of a fight. It just was really funny.
Hot house.
Yeah. I wasn't too big of a fan of the Indian in the beginning, but
I love him.
I thought he was really funny. Yeah.
Yeah. 60-40 combo.
I can't decide between the vegan fight and ultra Chris Evans fight. Like even walking out like with a dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that doesn't really care for the twins?
No, I was gonna say that the twins were the fight was cool, but the twins had no personality.
Yeah, well, and also it was two. Yeah, well, it was two ex-boyfriends, and they also got nothing part of the story, and we got nothing of their personality, and I'm like, that's two just gone.
Yeah, and was she like? I mean, is it implying that she dated them both at the same time? Am I lost? Did she? Was she? Okay, just check.
Yeah, he's just at that point. He doesn't care. He's just like, who's the next guy? Like, I don't care about their backstory. Neither should you. Of just your, on his level,
like the story has problems because I don't think it does what it wants to do. But the premise is great. This guy starts dating this girl's like, oh, before we really date, wink. You have to fight all of my exes. That's a great premise for this style of a film.
Yeah. But
the triple. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the mute that song it just felt like it was such a speed bump. They're like, we don't have time for this one. This is one we're just gonna rush through.
Hey guys, what if they had giant kaiju projection monsters?
I mean, that was cool. And it looked visually cool, but I'm like, I felt like it could have been better. I don't know. Maybe
and for the twins, do you know what the video game reference was there too?
Dual Dragons. I don't know.
Yeah, Double Dragon. You got
it. Yeah. But it looks like everyone is too scared to click the link. Cowards. That's all I have to say.
I think they just don't want to be associated with retards. But maybe
I agree.
You never know.
But either way,
Chill Kid looks over. What am I doing here?
No, I've got an official diagnosis now. So
yay! Join us,
I'm
buddy.
a certified retard.
Yeah. All right, so final decision, Evely.
What's that?
Does it float or does it
float?
Does it float? Does it
It floats.
float? You son of a...
Airship.
Kahuna, does it float?
I want to say no, just Just
Just
to spite
screw him.
Justin.
Man,
But
it's okay. You can have really bad, awful movie takes. I still love you, dude. It's fine. You can be wrong.
but the movie, it does what I wanted it to do. It's a really fun time. It's a funny movie. It's a fun time. Cool fights, great acting, fun. Just it's a fun experience with a bad story. I'm all for it. So Float.
I wouldn't call this story bad, but
Don't worry, I already did.
AC, does it float? Does it sink?
What's up?
Does it float or does it sink?
I think it just barely floats.
Wow, it just barely
First
floats.
of
All right. Well, I think this is.
I
think
love
it's
it for the style. I love it for the style, though.
Yeah. On the other hand, think it's a clear float. That style is above anything else. The enjoyment factor is way up there. Yes, there's some flaws in the story, but this is too fun of a movie.
I personally think.
Wait! If Chill Kid has negative things to say, I say we go with that.
You just watched a clip from the Iron Seas podcast. Make sure to like this, subscribe, it helps us out a little bit. And please catch the show live at 9:30 Eastern every Tuesday.